Hey guys, so this is going to be me doing not fill in the blank. This is going to be me doing a matching question. Okay, so I spelled matching wrong. Way to go. All right, so your matching question is going to go ahead and be super easy once you get the hang of fill in the blank. Matching is really easy. It's easier than this one. So we're going to go ahead, we're going to add, and I'm going to do matching. Here for my question title, once again, this is where you can do the TEK. The students can't see these, only you can. So it's more helpful for you, especially whenever you're doing item bank questions, that you're able to kind of see the TEK. That way you're not always having to think, oh, which TEK does this align with and which one's like that, and so forth, right? We all have lives. We all cannot remember every single question that aligns with every single TEK. Unless you've been in the game for that long, then props to you. Okay. Now, in your matching, this is where you go ahead and you add in your question, right? So my question is going to go ahead and be, use the image to help match the correct, let's see, correct, actually, I'm going to not say correct. I'm going to go ahead and say use the image to help match the outcome with the correct response. Yeah. Makes enough sense to me. All right. So this is where I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to use my spinner. All right. This spinner is very colorful. I go ahead and I have 3 1s, I have 3 2s, and I have 2 3s, right? So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to submit this one here. And make sure my image is not too monstrous. So I'm going to shrink it down a bit. And like I said, I like having my pictures in the center. I also like having these in red. So beautiful. Okay. So now you can go ahead and see that we have a couple questions, answers, questions, answers. So it makes it real easy for you to go ahead and have your matching, right? Matching is really good for vocabulary. It's good whenever you want your students to go ahead and match a scenario with an equation. It's good for anything where you're just trying to get them to match a couple things, right? The downside about this is that you can't really add in any equations or any pictures. There is a way around it, but again, that's a little bit more advanced. So I would say just keep it simple for now. Okay. So I want to know, what are the chances of my spinner landing on a 2? All right. Now, in your picture, you guys were able to go ahead and see we have 1, 2, 3. Okay. This is out of a total of 8 slots. So this is where I can do for the answer 3 out of 8. Okay. Now, if I went ahead and I kept this going, and I want this to be my most difficult question, right? I can go ahead and say, what are the chances of landing on green, right? Now I'm just going to copy this and I'm going to paste it and I'm going to change this to just green. This should go ahead and be that 1 out of 8, right? Now I can go ahead, I can do the same thing, but this time I can do it with 3. And I know that I had 2 out of 8. Now, if you haven't taught your kids how to go ahead and simplify their fractions, I recommend keeping it as a whole. I have taught my kids how to go ahead and simplify fractions. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to kind of be evil. I'm going to go ahead and have that 1 out of 4 done. But for a distractor, I'm going to go ahead and have 2 out of 8. So that means if they pick the 2 out of 8, then they're going to be wrong, because I can also go ahead and input here for their instructions, be sure you simplify your answers. I cannot spell today. Nope. There we go. Okay. So this is kind of just like letting them know, hey, if you don't simplify, I'm taking points off, which is always awesome because with the distractors, it's so nice. Okay. Now, if I'm fine with just 3, then I'm good, right? I don't have to do any more. I could if I want to. There's like so many questions that you can come up with this spinner. That's partly why I like it. But I'm just going to go with 3 for now because really I just wanted 10 questions. Now, down here for the grading, you can do partial credit or you can do exact match. Partial credit is like if they go ahead and let's say they got the 3 out of 8 and the 1 out of 8, but they went ahead and they fell for my distractor of 2 out of 8, right? It's not really fair for them, but let's just go ahead and say that they did do that, right? This is where I would go ahead and say, hey, I'm going to give you guys partial credit. So no matter what, they're able to get credit for these 2 being correct, but not credit for this one being correct. Okay. So this is just my way of being evil to them or nice to them, right? So I'm going to keep it as partial credit. The outcome, I'm going to go ahead, make sure it's there. This really doesn't fall in line with sample spacing, but this is going to give me a good idea of what they know versus what they don't know. Okay, so I went ahead, I have my question, it's in the item bank, it's going ahead and showing me everything, right? Now, the points, if your points don't match up, I have 3 questions in this case and it only counts for 1, I can easily just go up to 3. If it's too much, then you can just easily go ahead and type however many points you want it worth. For me, this is going to be worth 3, and then I'm done. Okay, so really I was going for 5 questions. I now have 6. I can keep it this way with the 4 that I'm given, since my question 4 is technically 3 questions in one, or I can go ahead and add in that last spinner, or I'm sorry, my dice. So all of these are something that I can go ahead and use. I've now covered fill in the blank with open response, fill in the blank drop down, fill in the blank with word bank, and your matching. All of these are pretty easy and something that I kind of recommend doing for beginners whenever you're creating your own quizzes. Okay, so aside from that, that's it.